All right. So this is our first session together in the new year. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Kind of the whole bringing in the theme of starting new, even though it's not the Jewish New Year, but the secular, we still have this feeling, okay, it's an ending of one cycle, a beginning of a new cycle. And this whole thing about what are my goals? What are my hopes? What are my resolutions? What am I, aiming towards this year? And that links really well with the Parsha today, which is Shemot. And without recapping the whole Parsha, what I'm going to speak about is when Moses meets God. So Moses is out tending the flock of sheep. He sees the burning bush. It's burning, but it's not being consumed. There's something weird, supernatural around that. He's like, let me go investigate further because something's not right. And he meets an angel of God there. And then he meets God in God's self, reveals God's self to him and is like, this is holy ground and I'm the one. And, God lays out the mission he has for Moses to go back and free the people in Egypt. And Moses says, well, when I go back to the people and I say that I met you and that this is the plan, who should I say sent me? That's it. What's your name? And the name of the whole parsha is Shemot, which is about names.
Sure, yeah.
And Moses and God says, Eheyeh Asher Eheyeh. I am becoming whatever I am becoming. It's the most fabulous name because it is not a noun. It is not a fixed thing. It is a verb. It is a sense of this being constantly created moment to moment, showing up as whatever is real and true, and there's a potential for constant newness or renewal. It's not stuck. It's not, I am this thing, and this is how you must relate to me. I mean, actually, later in this book, we get all these, don't make me a fixed thing. Don't relate to me as an idol or an image or a single name. Don't pretend or imagine you know what I am, because there is no I am, even though in Christian text and theology, this name, Eheyeh Asher Eheyeh, is often translated as I am that I am, but that's a misreading of it. It's not an I am statement. It's not a fixed identity statement. It's what I know myself to be is constantly becoming now and now and now and now. This is so yogic. This is so yogic. It's so like everything Ram Dass, came back to the West teaching about be here now in the presence. Life is happening now in this moment always, and who we are in this given moment of our life in this breath is really a choice, right? How we show up in this moment and what's happening in our outer circumstance and in this moment is what it is in this moment, but it's different than it was 10 minutes ago or 10 years ago. But we don't always act like that as humans. Right? We act like we are a continuation of the past. And I know who I am now because I know who I was yesterday and a year ago and 5 years ago and my whole history and all of the baggage and all of the identities I carry and all of my stories. And I am an accumulation of all of my past. And we don't always see ourselves with fresh new eyes. Right? We don't always see ourselves as showing up completely new to ourselves in a given moment. So I think that this is a really beautiful teaching and practice. So here's how I'd like for us to start. I'd like for us to actually start with a little bit of, we'll ground in our bodies, we'll do some breathing. I want us to start with a mantra meditation. Where we're going to just repeat this word in our mind, Eheyeh. And Eheyeh is a future-based it literally means becoming. I will be. So if the English is better for you than the Hebrew, you can just repeat, I am becoming. I am becoming.
Can you say it again?
Okay, so it's in it. If I spelled it out in English, transliteration, Eheyeh. Eheyeh.
Okay.
I don't know if I even spelled that right. Eheyeh. Eyeyehe. Yeah. Eheyeh. Eheyeh. And if the Hebrew is not working for you, you can just, again, I will be. I will be. I am becoming. Okay. And I just want to say that even though the letters Eheyeh, it has a very breathy sound to it. So if you want to go beyond words, you can just listen to the breath. And because it's really about being in the moment, really flush with this moment. And the breath does that for us more than anything else, right? Because the breath is arising right now. I am breathing. So you can just listen to the sounds of the breath. All right, so I'll invite you to close your eyes and just let yourself drop in to the position that you're sitting in, or if you're lying, you guys are sitting, but just let yourself really feel the weight of your physical body in this moment. You might want to even just take some little minor movements in your body. Maybe you lean back a little bit in your torso and you feel a little bit more grounding into the sit bones. Maybe you are leaning back too much and you want to sit forward. Notice what your feet are doing. Can you relax your feet, your toes, your ankles? Notice what your hips and thighs and knees are doing. Can you invite them to settle? And then just find your pelvis. Your pelvis is like a bowl, and just notice if it's tipping forward or back, or if it's kind of just finding its upright position. And then notice your belly muscles. Notice how they engage to support you upright. But notice also if they're clenching, and see if you can be strong and steady, but also relaxed and peaceful at the same time. And notice your torso from the belly all the way up to the shoulders, and you can bring your breath into this. So notice your inhale, expand and brighten your torso and your inner body. Notice the exhale, settle you. And then bring awareness to your head as it rests above the spine. And just notice if your chin is kind of elevated towards the sky or if it's tucked down, and just maybe take some little movements with your head. Just find a nice position where your head is happy. And now you can come into your breath and feel as if each inhale is filling up your entire body from the inside. Every exhale is bringing you into some peace and calm in this moment. And then you can begin with whatever word you want to choose to use. Something, either Eheyeh or I am becoming or I will be. And just keep repeating this word at your own pace and see what arises for you. Notice as thoughts arise and don't reject any thoughts. That's part of the being fully present to what is arising in the moment. So just become this beautiful witness of your own experience. Notice your mind's inclination to want to answer into the future, I will be, and to already know what you are becoming. And see if you can come back to this moment with a sense of unknowing. And just really coming back into the present moment. Let's use the words and now or and this. So whatever arises, a sensation against your skin, a flash of color behind your eyes, a sound in your environment, you can just say to it, oh, and now, and this. You can tune into the rhythm and vibration of your own heartbeat. If you want, you can bring a hand over your heart to feel that. And this, and this. Each heartbeat being its own new expression. And if there are any prayers in your heart this morning for yourself or for anyone else, you can offer those now. And as you're ready, you can bring yourself back to the space. Welcome those who just joined. Okay, let's start with a little flow from, I was gonna say hands and knees. Is that a problem for anybody here? Or are we okay? So you can take a blanket if you have, or you could also double up your mat. I just wanted us to do some cat and cow poses just to wake up the spine. So basically from hands and knees. And if this isn't appropriate for you, I'll show you a modification in a minute. But you're just gonna take some slow and easy range of motion, undulations through the spine. So dropping the belly and opening up through the chest, and then pulling the belly all the way in and spreading across the back. If it's not good for you to be on your knees, you can feel free to do something similar, like you can just kind of do any movement. We're just really moving, right? Just trying to wake up this sense of being in the flow. Good. And see if instead of just falling into a pattern without awareness, like it becomes automatic. Like, oh yeah, I've done this so many times before. My body's just going to move this way and this way. And we stop paying attention. And we, which is good, right? We need that that right brain, more like global consciousness that's always aware. Even when we sort of daydream into something else, there's another part of us that's paying attention. But see, for the purpose of this practice, if you can keep as much as possible coming back to and now, and this sensation in my fingertip, and this gaze at the floor. What am I, whatever is really new, so that this doesn't just feel like a repetition of something from the past. It feels like I'm arriving to meet this moment in a new way. All right, let's take your hips off that central grid and just take some nice wide hip circles. If full circles don't feel good, you can also just kind of go side to side. You can shift the hips, whatever feels good for you. Again, if this is new, it's a new year, it's a new practice, it's a new day, it's a new tabletop pose. Where is your volition in that? Right? It doesn't have to be like everything else you've ever done. It can be playful in a new way. From here, let's just stretch the right leg back and bring the right toes into the floor. The heel reaches back like you're in a half plank pose. And just really press through that heel. Good. Now, a little bit of strength. Check where your hands are. Bring your hands really in alignment under your shoulders, not forward of your shoulders. Okay? Bring them right underneath your shoulders. And right here, you're just going to press into that right foot, press down into your hands, and just lift the left knee up. You're just hovering. I'm going to heat up the body quickly. So this might be new for you. Hover. Okay, what muscles are waking up right now? Hello to my abdominals. Hello to my triceps, which are shaking a little bit. Good. Lower that down. And we'll switch into the other side. So extend the left leg. The base of the toes gets nice and strong. The heel reaches back. You'll feel a stretch in the calf. And then when you're ready, press down and lift that knee up off the ground. Are you breathing? Are you smiling? No. Lower the knees and sit back into a child's pose. Rest your head. If child's pose is not appropriate for you, please just always modify for what is good for your body. Okay. So not smiling, because it was hard, because it brought something up for you about I should be some other way than I am in this moment. I should be stronger. We bring in judgment instead of just the I am what if we had I am becoming stronger? Let's try that. I am becoming stronger. All right, here we go. We're gonna come into down dog. So you know what to do. Spread your hands, make sure you have a nice, good base of support in your hands and in your feet. The heels are reaching towards the ground, but that's okay if they're not on the ground. We're stretching the back body. Good. Relax your chin towards your chest. Relax the crown of your head towards the ground. And see if you can breathe here. You can close your eyes and come back to that I will be. Eheyeh. You might even think of yourself as an image, like what shape you're in, and can you be that for a moment? I will be the roof of a house. I will be the mast of a sail, a sailboat. All right, lift up high on your tiptoes. And then press your heels back down. And do that again if it felt good. Lift high on the tiptoes, press the heels back down. Bend your knees deeply, stick your tailbone high, high, high up to the sky, wiggle it side to side like a dog that's happy to see you. Good. And then you're just gonna walk your feet up towards your hands and let yourself hang over. Shake out the arms, relax the shoulders, maybe a little bit of a shaking it out. And then bend the knees and slowly come on back all the way up to stand.
Robin,
Yes.
so at some point, so I have been dealing with tendonitis in the shoulder. How do you modify the downward dog? Working through. How do you do a supported? And you don't need to do it right now because
Yeah. So that's a great question on if you're dealing with shoulder stuff, right? Planks and down dogs both, you got to be super careful. My favorite modification is to do it against a wall because it takes out 80% of the body weight and you have much more control of how much weight, but you're still doing a little. So I'll just show you that really quickly. And yeah, so a down dog at the wall might look like you walk your hands. I don't know if you can see, but you're just kind of like, yeah, it gives you the same feeling of stretching the back of the legs, of stretching through and lengthening the side body, right? But it doesn't have the same stress into the shoulders and you don't have to go so low. The same thing with a plank. You could do a plank against the wall. I wonder if you could see, oh, here, this is a better view. So like here might be your down dog, right? Right, like this feels like a down dog, like that kind of triangular. And then a plank could also be here. So instead of doing a plank on the floor, I'm in a plank is just solid. My legs are tight, my core is engaged. And then here I could do my, plank push up here or, a side plank here. And it just modifies so that your shoulders aren't taking the same kind of stress. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks for asking. Welcome back, Sharon. Okay. Inhale, bring your arms up to the sky. As you exhale, let yourself big exhale all the way down. Yeah. And then inhale all the way up and exhale. So we're just going to do a little bit of you're creating almost like a feeling like you're swinging on a swing and you're just, there's that pause, before gravity takes hold and you start going the other way again. This is just a like, let's just shake it out. Let's just move with the flow as it occurs to move us. All right, and then you can bring your hands over your heart, maybe close your eyes, just feel your heartbeat. If you haven't offered a morning prayer for gratitude for your life this morning, you can do that now. I'm thankful for the source of life, for restoring my breath, my soul within me. That this moment, my heart is beating. My heart is beating. My breath is coming. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yes. All right. Hands to your heart. Let's flow a little bit. Is that okay? Let's just like flow in and out of some lunges. Do the best you can. Modify how you need. Keep blocks nearby to elevate the floor. Let's just move a little bit. And as we move, again, try to break out of patterning like this is something old that you've done. Try to be really in this movement now with what you're experiencing that feels new. Right now, you're meeting this for the first time. Okay. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. As you exhale, float down over the legs. Inhale, halfway up to extend the spine. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, halfway, lengthening and preparing the spine. As you exhale, you're going to step your right leg all the way back. Put a nice bend in the left knee and rise all the way up for a lunge. Good. Good, good, good. And from our lunge, let's just take a little bit of an open twist. So you're going to drop your left arm behind you, your right arm forward. Your belly is pulling in, your spine is long, and you're just opening up to the side. And let's do that as a little flow. So inhale up through the center. Exhale, open it to a twist. Inhale up to the center. And exhale, twist. And I know this is new. We haven't done this. Inhale up through the center. So when we're doing something that's really new, it's easier to pay attention to how a new sensation feels. Right? It's harder when something feels like, oh, this is just a repeat. I already know this. My brain already formed, its synapses around this. I can ignore it. Inhale to the center. And then we're going to float the right hand down to the ground or a block and lift the left arm up to the sky and deepen yourself into the lunge. So you're really getting the hip stretch here now. Good. And a twist. So you want to feel the right side body wrapping around towards the left side, that knee's coming forward. And right here, let's just open the shoulder a little bit, if that's healthy for you, based on where your shoulder is. You can also bring fingertips to the shoulder and just take smaller circles, right? Do what feels right for you. Good. From here, you're going to step back to a plank pose if it's healthy for you to be on your shoulders. If not, you can come all the way to the belly, or you can come to forearms if that's better, or you can just come back to child's pose. So just modify as needed. So here you are in your plank. Let's just hold for a moment. If you can, pull your belly in nice and tight, away from the ground. Reach your tailbone back towards your heels. Good. Then slowly lower knees, belly to the floor, untuck the toes. Low cobra. Hands are under the shoulders. Just squeeze those elbows in towards the mid-spine. Belly in and up. Good. And from here, make your way through to a downward facing dog. Good. You're going to look up between your hands and you're going to step that right foot all the way to the front. You may need to lift and help it get there. Your back heel is up. Your front foot is nice and grounded. And here we are in a lunge on the second side. Good. Yeah, find this moment. Find your stability. Find your strength. I am becoming strong. I am becoming balanced. I am becoming present. I will be whatever I will be in this pose. I will be shaky. I will be Yeah, whatever it is. Okay, here we go. We're gonna open to that twist. Just hold the twist for the first time, just to feel how the belly draws in. There's a wrapping in the waist. Good. And then up through the center. And let's do that a few times. So you're gonna, I would exhale on the twist and then inhale up through the center. That feels like a more natural, because exhale is that kind of squeezing and wringing out. Inhale is refilling. I don't know how many we did on the other side or on this side. Let's just be with whatever we're doing here. Good, come on back up. And then the left hand, we come to the floor or a block. If you have a shoulder issue, you can also have more strength, but maybe you don't even touch the floor. Maybe you just kind of hover. That's a little bit of a different kind of challenge there. Yeah, but then that right arm can come up. And again, you can take circles with the arm if that feels good for you. You can also just dangle it out and take a little bit of like a, stretch into the shoulder girdle, whatever feels right. Good. Fingertips come to the floor. You're going to step up with your back foot. Lift your chest to take that flat back stretch. Yep. And then fold over the legs. Inhale all the way up. And bring your hands to your heart. Let's do another flow sequence with a little bit of balance and warriors thrown in. So inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, float down over the legs. Inhale halfway. Good. And this time you're going to step your right leg back, but don't bring your hands down to the floor. Just step back. Come on up to the lunge to start. But bring your hands in front of your heart. Good. And we're going to lift up, put all your strength and weight onto the left leg. Yeah. And you're just lifting the right leg back behind you. Yeah. You don't have to come full warrior 3 flat if you don't want to, but you certainly can. Right. But I just want some balance where you're leaning forward and back. Ooh, that felt nice. Okay, let's do this. Now take your hands. Watch this. Yeah. Let's take your left hand back and your right arm forward. And then come through the heart center and go the other way. Oh, I've never done this either. This just arose in this moment. Yeah. Notice how that challenges you. It's like this right brain, left brain integration. You have to pay attention. You can't be anywhere else in this moment because this is challenging you on an intellectual, on a physical, on a everything level, right? So it's forcing us to be coming now. Good. All right. You're going to lower the back leg down, but the whole foot's going to come to the floor on an angle. And we're just going to come right into a warrior 2. From our warrior 2, we're going to dance it. So you're going to drop your back hand against the back thigh and reach the front arm up towards the sky. Yep. Show you from the side. And then you're going to come forward. That forearm can rest to the thigh and you can bring the other arm forward. Now, shoulders, you don't have to go overhead for any of this. You can stay here with your arms, right? And that actually is a kind of nice feeling too, just back and forth, but you're going back and forth. And I want you to work the oblique abs, the side waist. I want you to feel where you, like whatever is calling for you. You can close your eyes here. That would be different. So close your eyes in a moving, dancing warrior 2 pose. Notice what you're feeling. And then when you are ready and want to become more still in the pose, you can either keep the forearm to the top of that bent front foot thigh, or you can bring a block behind the heel of that foot and rest gently with the palm to the block and really come into that extended side angle. Your back heel is very strongly grounded. You're lengthening from that back heel all the way up through the side waist. Good. And then this arm can either come forward or it can stay on the hip or it can wrap behind you if you want to open the shoulder and chest more. Many, many, many options. Maybe you are becoming someone who takes the binds in yoga, who is like, oh, okay, I'm going to take the next step. In yoga, we talk about kramas, which are stages, right? Like, oh, what would be the next step in this practice or pose that I don't usually go to? Maybe that's who I'm becoming, the one who goes that next step. Good. From here, you're going to straighten your front leg. If you have that hand around the low back bound, you can keep it into like a bound triangle here. Yeah. Yeah. If not, that's fine. You could bring your hand to your hip or again to the sky. Your choice. We're in triangle pose. Try not to hyperextend your front knee and lock it out. Keep a little micro bend in that knee. Make sure your foot is pressing down against the ground so you have some real strength there. And then there's a twist happening here. You're wrapping the belly, twisting up to the sky. Maybe you look up at the sky. Yeah. Maybe you don't look up at the sky. Maybe you drop your left ear to left shoulder and really just get some length out of the side of the right neck. Well, you only have one neck, the right side of the neck. Good. All right, from here, let's just play half moon. You know it's coming. Take your block or your fingertips to the floor, about a foot in front of you to the outer side of that front foot. You can take your hand to the hip. You can step your back foot in a little closer. And then trust yourself to go into a balance here. Yep. Yeah, and can you breathe? Keep breathing. What can you notice? How many things can you notice happening immediately, spontaneously as they're arising now and now and now? Good. When you're done with your balance, you can just lower the leg, stand all the way up, shake it out a little bit. Oh, how'd that feel? Oh, that felt good to me, but I feel uneven on this one hip now. Feels like, oh, I need to do the other side. All right, let's do the other side. If I forget something, please remind me because that was a whole sequence and I hope I remember where we started. Where did we start? Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I know. We did that weird like warrior 3 thing, which I've never done. Yeah. Okay. See, because this isn't patterned and this isn't like, oh, I've done this sequence a million times. I could do it in my sleep. I'm like, I don't remember. What did I do? Okay. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, come halfway up. And you're just going to step the left leg all the way back to a lunge first. So the heel is up, the hips are facing forward, your front knee bends. We're in this really nice lunge. Smile. Bring your hands to your heart. Yeah. Eheyeh Asher Eheyeh. This will be whatever it's going to be. There's a freedom in that. There's an allowing in that. You know? All right, here we go. We're going to smile. We're going to hover forward. We're going to let ourselves come into some version of a warrior 3 balance with that back foot off the floor. I love that I see you taking the wall, Patty. That's great. Use the balance around you, whatever you need for support. Remember that your core is really the key here for any kind of balance. You always want to come back to your core. What is your belly doing? Is it engaged? So draw in the strength of your stomach muscles. Good. Keep heart open, belly strong. All right. From here, we're going to take that right hand behind you and the left arm forward and then come through the heart and go the other way. And just play with that a few times. I don't know about you, but my standing leg thigh is like screaming. It's working so hard, but I am becoming strong. I am. Yeah. Here we go. Whee! Oh, it almost feels like, oh, it like I'm hearing Chariots of Fire music in my head. Dun 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 dun. I'm just having fun with it. Okay, then we put that back foot down and we arrived into a warrior 2 stance. And then we're just gonna dance the warrior 2. and you can play with it however it feels good for you. Just this little bit of back and forth. Again, eyes open or closed. It's kind of a cliche already. I know I say this so many times, but this pose and this dancing it backwards and forwards is really a metaphor for like past, present, future. Like we have this past and it tells us who we've always been. And we have this future that we're becoming, that we're leaning into. We don't know what it looks like. And then we have this present moment in the center that's kind of mediating and holding space between the two. We are a verb from the moment we're born to the moment we die. We're just being, living, moving, learning, growing, loving. Yeah. All right, from here, take your expression of the extended side angle. You can take that block again if you'd like. So to do the bind, you would just turn the palm away from you, behind you, and bend the elbow and reach either the hand to the back of the small of the low back, or if you have more flexibility, the fingertips can come like around to the top of the thigh, right? But we're not seeking to really strain anything, only go to the safe limit of what your shoulder is capable of. And then breathe across the chest. Again, the belly here isn't popping out. Your ribs aren't separating out. You're pulling it in towards the back of the spine. So there's some core control here. Make sure you have it straightened out through the front knee yet. Take the knee bend an inch deeper. You could do it just for the moment. Okay, and then we will straighten through the front leg. And you might want to step the back foot in a little closer. And now you're taking the triangle version of this pose. Yeah, so the front leg straightens but tries not to lock out. Yeah. And again, you can just relax the arms, whatever feels good for you here. And I like to take that little neck stretch, so I let my ear drop to my shoulder and then extend the upper arm away from the upper ear. And I get a nice stretch into the fascial connections through the neck and shoulder. You can also open your mouth here and say, ah, just kind of playing with opening up the neck muscle. Good. All right, here we go, half moon. You can start with your hand to your hip. You can step in a little closer to get ready. This hand comes forward. And you're going to make your way up into whatever your body is capable of doing this morning in this moment. Yeah. And if you want to add more flow to it, you can play, right? You can, there's some of you are dancers. just play, la 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 la. Be free. This moment has never happened before. This half moon has never happened before and will never happen again. It's only existing in this second here and now. So let me live it fully with presence, with awareness. All right. From there, you can lower the leg and slowly roll yourself up and shake it out. Did you guys have fun with that? Yes, shake it out. Wiggle it, dance it. Oh, let's do a little twisting. Twist, twist, twist. I gotta give you guys the music, so or just dance it to the music in your own mind. You can just play little dance party in your hips, in your shoulders. A little bit of shaking it out. Again, this is new year, but it's always new. That's the thing. It's like it's an illusion. We give it language that December 31st, 11:59 p.m. countdown, and all of a sudden January 1st, 12 a.m. It's new, but every second like that is new, right? If we say so, if we regard it as that. And I love that God's name expresses that. And we are B'Tselem Elohim. We're in the image of God. So like we are becoming now and now and now. All right, let's come down onto the mat. Let's do a little bit of core because that's a little bit one of my themes for you guys this year. Becoming stronger is always a good thing. Can't hurt. Okay. You're gonna come lie down on your mat. Do a little bit of core. So, okay. Here's what you're gonna do. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your knees up above your hips. Yeah, your leg can be kind of glued together, knees above the hips. Arms are down by your sides. You're not up here, so you're not straining the neck or the shoulders. So arms slightly lower than the shoulders. You're gonna allow your knees to drop towards your left elbow and then bring your knees back up through the center. Allow them to drop towards the right elbow. They're not actually touching ground. So only go as low as you can then have the strength to pull them back up without jerking through your shoulders and your neck. You want your upper body to be quite grounded and steady. Yeah. And again, you want to try to exhale on the exertion, which is the pulling the knees back up. You can inhale as you're slowly descending to the other side and exhale. Every time you exhale, think about squeezing your belly muscles in really strong, like really, like, okay, here, this is where my strength is coming from. I'm going to pull in. Yeah, there you go. Good. All right. Now, hands come down by your sides, and we're going to do a little lower abdominals. So, knees are still up. You're going to just lift. That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to lift your hips up a little bit and roll the lower back up off the ground. Try not to move your head around too much when you do this. Keep your chin up so that your throat is open and your cervical spine is protected. And you're just hip hiking up to the sky. Good. You got it. And notice whatever story you're telling yourself and know that it's just a story. It is not real. It is just air and words. You can choose that story and you can change that story to something that sounds more like Eheyeh Asher Eheyeh. This is me becoming something I have not been. All right, last one. Easiest version. Okay, easiest version is you're going to tap one foot to the ground and bring it back up. The very easiest is tapping it like kind of right below your knee. Harder is tapping it farther forward. All right, the farther you go, the more of a lever. So it's a little harder, one at a time. If you're much stronger and you have that in your ability, you might want to use hands to support your low back. You could tap both feet and lift. You could do both. Yeah, so pick your level, you know where you're at. Whichever one you're doing, you want to feel your belly button pulling down into the spine, and you want to feel your spine pressing down into the ground. Yep. Try not to clench in your neck and throat and shoulders. If you've been doing two legs and then you get tired, you can then switch to one leg at a time just to kind of finish out a set. Good. And then you can hug your knees into your chest. Ah. Yeah. Let's take a little bit of a circle in one direction and the other. Just close your eyes and really just feel the massage. Right? Feel what's touching the earth right now and find some pleasure in the sensation of your body right here. All right, let's just take a little inversion. So you'll extend your left leg out on the mat in front of you. You can lift your right leg up to the sky. And you're just going to point and flex through your ankle a few times, just to decompress that ankle, get the flow of blood and lymphatic and energy flowing downward. If you want, you can even massage. You could bring your hands to your calf and give a nice little squeeze. You can go along the front of the shin. I'm sure you have some sore, tender points there. You can use your knuckles, with a little self-love. Good. And then you're going to bend the left knee and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. We're taking our reclining figure 4 or reclining pigeon pose. And, depending where your hips are today, just notice this isn't before. This is a different day. They could be tighter. They could be looser. Yeah. All right. And we're going to switch legs. Extend the right leg out in front of you. Lift the left leg up to the sky. That foot is reaching towards the ceiling. And you can point and flex through the ankle. And take some circles through the ankle as well. And then that little massage if you'd like. Even getting upside down in inversion is a being in this moment in a new way, because we're mostly not inverted. We're mostly always upright, walking on our feet. But what does it mean to be lying on our back with our foot to the ceiling? Good. And then we'll take that reclining pigeon stretch. Good. And take anything else you need. Really just check in now. What is it you need to become, to move forward towards in the next 2 minutes of the practice? Just do what you need and then make your way to Shavasana as you're ready. And as you lie here and breathe, maybe allowing yourself to come back to that word Eheyeh, or I will be, in a way that feels really spacious and expansive and unbounded. Like there are limitless possibilities and potential of what might be next. Take as much time as you need in your Shavasana, no rush to get back up. But if you are ready, you can slowly make your way back to sit. Shalom v'mamav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel. May the Maker of peace bless us all with peace, ourselves, our families, our community, nations, all beings in the world. And let that be what is becoming. And let us also have the grace and awareness to be with whatever is coming. Amen.